We have the latest inflation numbers. These numbers have been much anticipated. There were rumors flying around that year over year inflation, once March 2022 numbers were added in, would get into the double digits, over 10%, and that didn't happen. And we're going to talk about expectations. We're also going to talk about what the number means. But first, we all know if we participate in the American economy, meaning if you buy groceries, go out to eat, own a vehicle, a gas vehicle, pay utilities. I mean, everything is more expensive. My electrical bill is up. My grocery bill is up. People who have gas vehicles see that gas is more expensive. We know intuitively, because of our experience in the economy, that prices are up. And the question is how much and in what sectors. And we now have that information. And inflation has indeed increased by the most since 1981, and the consumer price index is up 8.5%. Now, there are people confused about what this means, but the reporting is also confusing. When we talk about an 8.5% price increase, we don't mean that in March prices went up 8.5%. However, a lot of the reporting makes it seem that way. I mean, look at this Yahoo Finance headline, which says inflation rises by the most since 1981 as the consumer price index jumps 8.5% in March. I understand why some people are confused, but so that you know, this number means that in the year ending March 2022, the consumer price index is up 8.5%. The previous number was February to February. The new number, 8.5%, is March to March. Prices didn't go up 8.5% in March. They went up 8.5% in the year ending March. Now, it's on the one hand, why am I talking about this so much? On the other hand, if you don't understand that, you don't have any idea what's going on. And there's people all over Twitter and all over my feed saying, can you believe it? Prices are up almost 10% in 1 month. No, they're not. These are high numbers. These are the highest inflation numbers since 1981 for a 1-year period. But unless we all are on the same page about what this means, we're really not going to get anywhere. And the reporting doesn't make it particularly more clear. Now, you look in more detail at the numbers, and you see that there are a number of different areas that are sort of leading this. Some of the biggest contributors to the increase were food. We know that. We know groceries are up. We joke a lot about mango prices, but grocery prices are up. Shelter, rents and home properties, real estate, and gasoline. And the index tracking gas prices surged up 18.3% month on month in March, comprising more than half of the total monthly increase. So half of the increase in prices in March was gasoline alone. And in February, gasoline had a 6.6% monthly increase. So this is, if you want to have a real conversation about this, you kind of have to get away from the politics, because there's a lot of this is just Joe Biden's fault. And of course, there's global inflation. Gas prices are up everywhere. The most important aspects of this to me are kind of twofold. One is the reaction. Why is the stock market up today if these numbers are so terrible? And as of right now, as we're filming, the stock market is up significantly today. The answer that we are taught, and we can all judge whether it makes sense or not, is that the market had already priced in that the numbers could be even worse. There were rumors inflation could be above 10%. Now, the actual economic forecasts were exactly this. They were 8.4%. We got 8.5% year over year. But because the market now has the certainty that it's not going to be worse than expected, the market is doing well. Some people just don't care. Okay, but if we want to analyze that, that would be one thing to think about. The other aspect of this is there are lots of people pushing hot takes on social media that this isn't the real number, that the real number is above 10%, and that the metric of the consumer price index doesn't accurately take that into account. Well, that's an argument that you can have at any time. Very often when unemployment numbers come out, you will see people come out of the woodwork and they'll say, when in the unemployment system, you stop looking for work, you're no longer considered unemployed, so the number is not accurate. That's true, but that's been a reality in the unemployment system for 40 years, going all the way back to Reagan. Is that closer to 50 years now? The point is, you can't cherry pick when you point out the limitations of a metric to try to make a point about only the latest numbers. That's dishonest. This is the way that we've measured these things for a long time. My prediction is worth as little as everybody else's. I mean, I'm the first to tell you, humans are terrible at making economic predictions. My prediction, and this is just an opinion, is that we're basically at the peak here of inflation, and that we're going to start seeing a slow decline in year-over-year inflation, maybe starting next month with this month's numbers, but more likely in the next 2 to 3 months. That's my prediction. What might delay it a little bit would be gas prices in general tend to go up over the summer, more people driving, taking road trips, etc. And if that's the case, it may push it off even a little more. But my sense is within the next 4 months, we are going to start to see a decline that, unless something dramatic changes, should continue. One of our sponsors is called Privacy. Privacy is a totally free service that I've been using for years. Privacy lets me create virtual payment cards with one click, and when I use the virtual card, the money is taken out of my bank account. You can create multiple cards, delete them, freeze them, set a spending limit on them. Let's say I'm signing up for a free trial and it requires a credit card. Privacy will autofill a virtual card number, and then after signing up, I can delete that virtual card, so I know I'm not going to be charged again. Something really useful and very practical. Or let's say I'm ordering food over the phone, but I left my wallet somewhere. I don't have my real credit card on me. I can use a virtual card on my Privacy mobile app. But really, the best part is you're not out there exposing your real credit card number, so you're not as susceptible to data breaches and identity theft. Privacy is a totally free service, and you'll get $5 to spend when you go to privacy.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.